I am Loki, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
It's your destiny to destroy the world.
The greatest danger to the multiverse, it turns out, is Doctor Strange.
What's up, y'all? We're back in the Nerds Underground, and in this video, we're talking about the MCU creating Battleworld. Because with all the news that's been going around, it's flown under the Secret Wars radar that the MCU is giving their take on Battleworld. And yo, based on things that we've seen from Wanda, Doctor Strange, and now Loki throughout this entire saga, I have this insane theory that the MCU will be using their new big three to save the multiverse and create Battleworld. So let's get right into it. If you don't know what Battleworld is, I got you with a TLDR. You see, it's a world created by Doctor Doom in the comics to save the multiverse at the end of Secret Wars, where he merged all of the multiverse into one and had all these different versions of characters living on one world. And look, that's a very basic explanation, but at the end of the day, it set up some insane comic book runs during the Secret Wars Battleworld period. That being said, when it comes to Marvel pulling off this type of spectacle on screen, to me, it all centers around Marvel's new big three of Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Loki. You see, all three of those characters have had major moments in phase 4 and 5 that set the groundwork for the creation of Battleworld. Hear me out. You have Doctor Strange preventing the collapse of his own universe in What If when he used Hard Light to keep that universe intact as much as he could in the pocket reality. On top of that, you got Loki reviving the dying timelines at the end of Loki season 2 to keep the multiverse alive and basically holding it together in what is now a tree of a multiverse, right? And then you come to Wanda and what she did in Westview. Wanda literally created a whole new reality in Westview and even took over people's minds to where they forgot their past lives. Hey, on their own, those individual scenes are some of my favorite scenes since Endgame. But when you break down what each character is actually doing in those scenes, in theory, combining them together could create the secret formula to creating Battleworld and saving the multiverse at the end of Secret Wars. You see, as the Avengers and the multiversal cameos that we're expecting to get in Secret Wars will be fighting in a big battle, it'll eventually turn out that the battle they're fighting is really pointless. It won't matter if they win or lose, because it's just the fact that the multiverse will be getting destroyed. But aside from those fighting that battle, Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Loki are set up to be outside of time as all of this is happening. I want you to think about what we saw in Loki season 2, right? As the multiverse is collapsing and it begins to spaghettify going towards a black hole, we see those physical timelines turn black. Let's say the multiverse starts to collapse again and Loki is struggling to keep it together. You can then see these characters start to go into action to save what is going to be left. You have Doctor Strange first off creating Hard Light to protect what's actually left of these physical timelines. And that works because whatever is sucking this time into a black hole, like OB explained in season 2, that Hard Light Prism will be able to stop the effects of that to a certain extent. Because like we saw in What If, that alone just isn't enough. We still saw Christine fade away. But this is where Loki would then come into play. Because as those timelines have now just started to fade to black and are dangling inside that prism, Loki can then start pulling those branches together just like he did in the season finale. But instead of just holding them together, picture him weaving them all into one. This way is a merger of the timelines and not a destruction. And doing so allows time to exist in that prism that Doctor Strange created. And at the same time allows those universes continuing to live. But then when you think about it, you can't just have an empty prism, right? They can't just be standing there like these two in this scene. That's where Wanda comes in, right? She would step in and create this wild ass reality where all of the multiverse lives on one Earth in Battleworld. And even to take it a step further, she could even be the one to erase the memories of the people in Battleworld so that they have no recollection of what happened before that moment. But from there, the multiverse is saved, right? And we can move forward on Battleworld. Now that's how Battleworld gets created, but I think even more of a juicy story here could be why Battleworld needs to happen in the first place. Because as I said earlier, it's a fact that no matter how dope Secret Wars is, all the heroes that got in there, right, fighting against probably the Council of Kings, is still getting destroyed, and Battleworld will need to be created to save it. And I really had to just kind of hammer down on that point for a second, because the ending of Loki season 2 has some fans thinking that, we're out of this now, right? The multiverse is safe and it can exist. But really at the end of the day, all Loki did was pave the road for the Council of Kings and for incursions to happen, and for the destruction of the multiverse to go down anyway. So like I said earlier, while all of those superheroes and Avengers are fighting a big battle, likely against the Council of Kangs, the big three, Loki, Wanda, and Doctor Strange, will be outside of time at Loki's throne, fighting Kang the Conqueror as the Beyonder. And I know, like, fighting the Beyonder may seem like a reach, right? Like an impossible thing to do, because just how powerful the Beyonder is. But think about it. Like, Doctor Strange after Doctor Strange 3 and the Scarlet Witch after Wanda returns, probably going to be OP when they come back. Plus, we've seen Loki get his OP power-up moment already, and to be real, my man's story and his power level is likely set at the end of that season to be ready to battle the Beyonder. But that sets up the true impactful battle of that movie to be between the big three of Loki, Wanda, and Doctor Strange versus Kang the Beyonder. And as wild as that theory is on its own, there's one more wrinkle. That is Doctor Doom. Because you see, the reports are out there now that Doom and Kang could actually be like co-villains of this saga. And to be real, like, if Doom is involved, I like for him to really serve as like the anti-hero of this saga. And he can definitely do things with Wanda to influence her in her creation of Battleworld, or he could even just join those three in absorbing the Beyonder's powers and create Battleworld himself, and more of an image of like where he is God Emperor Doom, like in the comics. But hey, even with or without that wrinkle, I truly feel like this theory works on so many levels. And recent rumors can even hint at like this theory actually being the case of what could go down. Because first off, like Doctor Strange 3 being rumored to take heavy influence from the Time Runs Out run that was the lead up to the Secret Wars saga is a clear sign that Doctor Strange is pretty much on his own path, right, to solve incursions. And that goes in line with what we saw at the end of Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, when he's going out to solve these incursions that he's been causing with Clea, and apparently he's going to be working with the Black Priest as well. And then like when it comes to Wanda, like I know she's a wild card for a lot of y'all when y'all hear this theory, because when you think into it, her creating a reality again and controlling things once again too, just seems to be like a step backwards from her, right? And like for her character, like what we saw in Westview, and then again back in like Multiverse of Madness, which already felt like a step back to some people in her character development. But honestly, I think this turns around to work as a plus for this whole conflict that they started even all the way back in Multiverse of Madness, because Strange giving her the blessing, if you will, to go ahead and do this actually resolves that conflict for Multiverse of Madness, from where Wanda said that when Doctor Strange breaks the rules, nobody ever says anything, but when Wanda does it, it's a problem. Now, if you want to say that doesn't work for you, the easy remedy is just Doctor Doom influencing Wanda and Doctor Doom coming into play here and taking over Battleworld himself. Look, the MCU having that ultimate sandbox to play around with their characters, to play around with legacy characters and new characters before this reboot happens, is an absolute W for Marvel. So let me know what you think about this theory in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, please hit subscribe and that notification bell, as well as leave a super thanks if you have a question or response that you want me to get to in the next video. With that being said, join the conversation with our live streams with my boy Justin on Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you back here in the Nerds Underground.